Welcome to Elevate Springfield, where we will dive into strategies and stories that help you rise to your full potential. Each episode, we'll talk about how you can take intentional steps to elevate your life and your business while making a meaningful impact on those around you. Along the way, we're going to bring in the change makers from our community that are already elevating. We'll bring the actionable strategies, you bring the discipline and follow through, and together we can elevate Springfield. All right, let's go, everybody. Welcome in. You are listening to the Elevate Springfield podcast. Robert Farrell here, certified 10X coach, mentor, and speaker, here to bring you actionable strategies. You bring the follow through and discipline, and together we're going to elevate Springfield. Hey, I'm looking forward to another great episode today. Got my man Criss from the Global Grooming Lounge joining us. We have a ton of takeaways for you. He's got a great story, both personally and professionally. I think you'll get a lot out of today's episode, like always. So, hey, reminder, if you want to get caught up on previous episodes, just head on over to your favorite podcast outlet, search for Elevate Springfield, and give us a subscribe, like us. We would appreciate it. And we're going to get to Criss, or Donnie Ray, right after the break. The Global Grooming Lounge, where cultures blend and style takes center stage. It's more than a barbershop, more than a salon. It's a melting pot of grooming excellence. Multicultural, modern, and made for everyone. From classic cuts to bold new looks, they celebrate every style, every texture, every background. Step into the Global Grooming Lounge, where Springfield comes to look its best. Visit globalgroominglounge.com to make an appointment. All right, and we are back. Joining me now, Mr. Criss, or like most people call him, Donnie Ray. Donnie Ray, how we doing today?
I'm all right, man. How you doing today, Robert?
I'm great. Good having you here this afternoon, man. Looking forward to learning a little bit more about you, telling the folks out there about the Global Grooming Lounge and the whole nine.
For sure.
Let's just start with a little bit about you. Tell us about your background, man.
A little bit about me. From Springfield, Illinois, born and raised. I grew up in a household, I want to say household-wise, it was a four-bedroom house. We have probably 11 or 12 people living in a four-bedroom house. Mixed families. I come from very humble beginnings. Imagine every day living in a four-bedroom house, but it's like 11 of you running around scratching, clawing, trying to figure out your own way to make yourself stand out amongst literally just your siblings, so let alone your peers when you get ready to go to school and all that stuff. Never really knew that I wanted to actually be a barber. I played around with trying to find myself. Always was a hard worker, though. I got my first job when I was 14. I worked at McDonald's, man. I think minimum wage at the time, I think was probably like $7.50 an hour.
Sure.
So just always trying to make sure I stayed ahead of the curve as far as working hard and finding somewhere, trying to find my place, I guess, in life, I should say. Try everything, in and out job, until I found barbering. Once I found barbering, I was 25 years old when I found barbering. Man, barbering opened up doors for me and changed my life in ways that I wouldn't even expect it to. Kind of crazy. I found barbering when me myself was personally in a big transition in my life. Wasn't always a perfect role model. Was always in school, almost getting thrown out of school for one reason or another. And found barbering, and it started leading me to who I am today. It got me out the streets, got me to really find something to drive my passion and my purpose on. And man, once I found barbering, I started networking with different people, became the businessman I am today.
So when you said you found barbering, how'd that come about? You had a guy that you went to, you had a guy that you knew, or what's up?
So funny story behind that. I mentioned I was working in and out jobs. So I went out to MTI, got a pharmacy tech license, did pharmacy tech for maybe 3 years. I got fired from Walmart out west. I got fired from Walmart for taking too long on a 15-minute break. At the time, I had been working overtime at Walmart for maybe three or 4 months straight. So I thought it was the irony and getting fired for taking too long of a 15-minute break from work. That was insane for me. Once that happened, I told myself I want to put myself in position where I can never allow that to happen to myself again, especially with the way I carry myself. I'm like, man, I'm gonna find something where I can be in control, be in charge of my own future, my own destiny. And then my girlfriend, never forget, she was in cosmetology school. She came home one day like, hey, I think they're about to open up a barber program at the school I'm at. At the time was like, I'm not a barber. I've never cut hair in my life. Never even tried to. But then I started thinking about some of the barbers that I've had in my life, and all of them were leaders in the community. They all were doing pretty good from themselves. At least it seemed like from my standpoint. They were always ready to pay for my haircut. They're pulling out a pocket full of cash just to make change for the money that I got. And they always was kind of go-to guys as far as for young adults with problems in the community that I was in. We get off into a lot of stuff in the community, then we go into the barbershop, and our barbers is talking us off cliffs or helping lead us the right direction so that we can try to be better, try to do things a little differently than what maybe the people on the block is telling us. So once I thought about all those things, I'm like, you know what, Donnie, maybe this is your journey, your path to take right now, especially with me being in a situation where I was telling myself I wanted to be in control of my future and my financial stability. So once I realized that becoming a barber is my way to not have to ever look over my shoulder again and wonder, am I going to get laid off today? I was like, yeah, I'm in. So I just joined up for barbering. Again, not knowing anything about barbering, I signed up. I never forget my first day there. I show up, and my barber instructor at the time, he like, yeah, we're going to do perms today. I'm like, doing perms? What? I'm like, what is this about? So here I am. Don't really know anything about hair. I'm sitting here trying to part this perm off into six sections and make all these very particular parting sizes and stuff to make sure all the rods are fitting right. Man, I struggle so bad. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what I got myself into. Then after a couple weeks went by, I had this other cosmetology teacher that was at the school. She was watching me for literally a week, standing in my station, not talking to anybody, just blacking everything out, steady trying to figure out how to roll the perfect perm and how to get this done efficiently time-wise, because this is taking me almost a full 7-hour day just to part it off into the right sections. So I remember she had this gleaming, stern look, so I would never say anything to her. And then until this day, she finally walked up to me. She said, hey, I've been watching you, mister. You've been staying on top of trying to learn how to roll this perm. No matter how frustrating it's been for you, I see that you show up, you come here every day and with a smile on your face, and you just block out everything else and just strictly focus on trying to learn this rather than just sitting down and goofing off like a lot of other barbers were doing. She like, I purposely waited and watched you do this over all this time. Now I'm going to step in and start helping you because I see that your work ethic is what she told me was my work ethic was speaking volumes without saying a word. And the man that she took me underneath her wing, and from that day forward, rolling the perm was never an issue for me. And it just opened up my mind. I'm like, I can do this. I'm capable. I just have to really put my mind to it and not get stirred in the wrong direction just because things don't come as easy for me. Barbering was something I had to really work hard for initially in the beginning. But once the gears started clicking for me, I just took off and ran with it.
Nice. So you said the importance of having the barbershop as being the spot where some of the guys can mentor some of the guys in the community, right? Mm-hmm. How important is that to have that kind of cornerstone where you said you can go in and some of those guys are going to talk you off the cliff essentially and talk you into the good things instead of into the bad? How important is that to the community?
I feel like it's really important for the community, especially when you're dealing with males, not even just males, because I do have some women clients that I cut. Some are younger because they come in and get designs and cool stuff like that. But just to have somebody in that you feel that is behind your back and got in your corner, it means a lot to kids who necessarily don't have a father figure at home or don't have the perfect role model at home, or just somebody who even shows up to show them that they care. It's been a big part, especially with me going through everything that I went through in my adolescence years, man, it was time where I was bumping my head on being ignorant just to be ignorant. Having somebody who can be the voice of reasoning goes a long way. Truly use my barber chair as my platform to touch and talk to any youth that I come around. With that being said, like, it's an organization here in town called the Outlet Mentoring Organization.
Great group.
Yeah, great group of people. Mike Fallon, Michael Mays over there. They run a great show. I shouldn't say show because it's a real thing. It's not a facade. You get the real them every day when you see them, no matter where you're at. And I've been fortunate enough to be able to partner up with them on several different occasions where I've been able to just go over there and just give free haircuts. Give free haircuts to the kids and just listen to them, talk to them, not even just using it to go over there and do free haircuts. Also just going over there, just chilling with the kids, playing video games, laughing, letting them know we're all human. We're all human. I'm a real person, and just like them. And it's been a blessing to be able to meet networking with people through barbering and opening those doors for me. Because every time I go, like, it's some kids since I've been going over there, I talk to them, chop it up while I'm there. But then those kids actually start coming to the barbershop. Some of those relationships I built with those kids has carried on to me being able to see them from being in middle school, not really knowing a path to now they're graduating from college and coming getting a haircut for their graduation. Or now they're going off to the military and they're coming to see me before their last haircuts. Those are lifelong relationships and lifelong friendships that I've made with those students, literally just through barbering. And that means a lot to me, especially me knowing where I come from and the changes, like the changes that I've been trying to make in our community. The biggest impact I can make as far as legacy is knowing that I've changed the community or changed the people around me and trying to make the little bit of difference that I feel like I could make.
That's awesome. Now you can be that guy for those kids, like you were talking about. Some of those guys were for you when you were growing up.
Yeah, because my barber instructor in general, Wayne Dunwoody, he's no longer with us, bless his heart. But again, I told you when I went into barbering, I was in a big transition period in my career. Wayne seen something in me that I didn't even see in me at the time when I was going through the barber program. He started introducing me to faith, introducing me to manhood, just making sure certain things certain principles and morals that you should have, and you should stand on those values no matter what. And yeah, man, it's been a blessing.
How important is faith to you? You talk about he introduced you to faith.
It's a big one for me. I try my best to walk in purpose, walk in passion. I don't try to force anything, any situation. But knowing that I'm sticking to my morals and my values when it comes to certain things, I don't change who I am for nobody. You get the real me, no matter where you may see me at. The student, I think that's one of the things that make me so relatable to even the students that I'm teaching now. They have somebody that showed to work and was able to talk like them, walk like them, speak the lingo, so to say. And that carried me a long way because I don't fake the funk with them. So when it comes down to real life situations, they're able to open up to me and talk to me about things that they probably wouldn't talk to everybody about.
Yeah, because you know where they're coming from.
Yep.
You're able to relate to them. And that's the biggest thing. When they're able to see that in you and build that relationship, they're going to open up to. No, that's very cool. So take us back. Let's head back to school. You're finishing up barbering, the school portion. What was next? Did you go get a chair somewhere else, or did you immediately start your own business? What did that look like after you finished up?
I'm going to backtrack on that because when I was in barbering school, probably like a month and a half in, I got a job at BJ Grand Salon, just being a shampoo assistant. They had one of their top stylists, Richard Green, who, again, fortunate enough to have him as a mentor. Richard Green taught a class at USCA, the barber school I was attending at the time. He came in. He gave this big class. If anybody who knows Richard Green knows he's super smart, super intelligent about what he do and bring to the table. So I'm in one of his classes. He's spitting all this stuff at me. Again, I'm new to the hair world, so I'm like, man, I am lost in this class. I don't know a thing, don't know what he's talking about, what's going on. I approached him after class was over. I'm like, hey, is there any way I can I can have some time to pick your brain so I can get a chance to learn more? He looked at me. He was like, go fill a job application out at BJ Grand Salon. We're hiring for part-time shampoo assistant. I didn't waste any time. I went the very next day before I right on the way to school. I remember it like it was yesterday. I went in there, got the application, filled it out right there on the spot. Here comes Richard Green walking across the front desk. He looks over at me, gave me this smug look, and then just walks off. And then he runs in the manager office, basically probably tell him who I am and stuff like that. So I go do my interview. I interview well. And then from the time, as soon as I walked out the door, Richard met me right at the door. And he shook my hands and was like, I'm looking forward to working with you. From that time forward, he took me underneath his wing while I was at BJ Grand Salon. I'm working with now. Again, he's one of the top stylists in this upscale salon. It's really busy. So I'm running around with him on the hustle and bustle of every day while I'm there working. And then I'm leaving from BJ Grand, going directly to school. School was from 3 to 8. So I'm going to BJ's at 12 o'clock in the morning, leaving BJ's, going right over to school and staying there till 8. So my thoughts on it was, if I immerse myself into the hair world as much as I can, that should speed up the process on what I can learn and what I know. Got done with barbering school. 10 months later, I signed on to stay at BJ Grand Salon as a hairstylist. A lot of people don't know that about me. I stayed there as a hairstylist, I think, for about 8 months after I graduated from barber school. I had a lot of people looking at me crazy for doing it. I'm like, this is where I want to be right now. I was always, my thought was be as open as possible as I can to learning new things and not close myself off in a box. I felt if I would have not went out to BJ's to be a shampoo assistant, I wouldn't be half of the barber that I am today. I learned a lot of life lessons, career lessons by just running around through those halls and BJ's and doing the dirty work and earning my rights. So it opened me up to when I was finally able to be in position to open up my own shop. I knew how I wanted to have it and how I wanted to run it. I wanted to make sure I was able to carve out my own lane and be unique while doing so. So that kind of what led me to being able to open up my own barbershop. I left from BJ's. I went to work for my barber instructor, Wayne Dunwoody. I went to work for him for a year. Then I ran my own shop for a year, but that kind of fell underneath the water. I ended up at a shop in town called The Barber Shop, a really great group of guys over there. I stayed there for 3 years, and then I finally was able to open up my own shop, which is called The Global Grooming Lounge. It's located 2815 West White Oaks Drive. We've been open a little over 4 years now. So my thing with opening up the Global Grooming Lounge, once I got to that aspect of everything, I'm like, man, I really want to take the good things that I've learned from all the shops that I've been in and bring that into one. Most barbershop, you get man cave vibe, almost no girls, no kids allowed type vibe. And then when you go to an upscale salon, most males is intimidated by even walking through the door because we feel like we got to act a certain way. We got to put on our Sunday clothes, almost interview clothes, just to walk in and even say hi. So what I wanted to try to do was bridge the gap. But within all that, came by creating the Global Grooming Lounge. I wanted to make sure it was welcoming for all people of all color, no matter whether you black, white, or Puerto Rican. We don't care. We don't discriminate. Kids, women. I wanted to encompass a full circle of grooming. I wanted to create a melting pot where no matter what walks of life you was from, what age group you're in, you can come into the shop, get a good conversation, get groomed very well, and we bring everything full circle to the table. I got stylists and barbers cutting on the same cutting floor, which I think I might be the only shop that in town that's doing that. The conversations that you pick up and that picks up and come in the shop because of that is next level. We get to see things from everybody's viewpoints. So we got women coming in talking about things that's driving them crazy, and then you got on the other side, you got a lot of males coming in talking about things that's driving them crazy.
Sure.
I think it's very unique to be able to have those conversations and be able to learn from each other all right there on one floor while we're in a shop. And then the kids are more than welcome to come in. So while we're having these conversations, you got kids watching TV or kids playing. It's just a good family vibe. And that's what coming from a 4-bedroom household with 11 people in it, having a good family vibe is what I'm all about. And I really, truly enjoy.
Absolutely. So you said you want to make it an all-encompassing place. So did that come to be? You have a pretty diverse clientele coming in there all the time?
Yeah, so we got blessed to have a pretty diverse clientele, pretty diverse stylists and barbers. We don't, like I said, we don't put ourselves in a box. We do it all. Me personally, anything from a haircut, hot shave, facials, to some of my stylists is in there doing twists. I got some of my other stylists doing highlights, hair color, eyebrow waxing, you name it. If it's done in the beauty world or the barber industry, we do it underneath our roof.
So you mentioned having 11 people in the house and scratching and clawing and everything. How does that drive you for success as a businessman now?
Man, it built tough skin, I'll tell you that much. Man, coming from those such humble beginnings made me realize how hard and how far that I've came thus far in my career, and how hard I gotta keep working to maintain it. It's real. A lot of people get confused with when they see somebody thriving in their field. They like, a lot of people must be nice. That wasn't nothing nice or nothing lucky about it. That was a lot of hard work put in. And it's easy as soon as you take your foot off the gas, that's when you could lose it all. So anytime I'm questioning my why or my purpose, I think about where I come from and how hard I've had to work to get to this point, and know that, it wasn't by luck. I worked my ass off to be in position where I'm at today, and got to keep going even harder if I expect to push the envelope further. Yeah, I've had some of my friends along the way that I've had to cut ties off with, but when you're growing and you're trying to get to certain places, you can't take everybody with you.
No, absolutely. I talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
You can make a list of everybody around you and guarantee not all of them are good for you, especially when you're trying to grow and succeed. Not all of them are going to be there for you.
Sometimes when the rocket is trying to go up, we got to drop some boosters along the way.
Completely agree. So speaking of that, when the rocket's trying to go up, you said the Global Grooming Lounge has been around for 4 years now. So that would have been like right after COVID or right during it. So that was probably a little difficult getting started. But what are some things you did then to kick your business into gear and start growing?
As a young barber, I've always made sure that, again, coming from a household of 11, you got to find your ways to be unique. So I had no problem doing that when it came to actually being a barber and trying to set myself up. I wasn't stuck on this is how it's done. This is how we do it. I more so was focused on trying to create a new way of doing things. When I started cutting haircuts was $10 and $15. Half the time I was doing haircuts half off, or things like that, just to keep my chair busy and keep promoting myself. Like when I initially started off barbering, I was promoting myself on social media so much that I had people in my family block me.
Yeah.
Because they were like, Don, I love you, but I'm tired of seeing your haircut posts.
Sure.
So I wasn't shy about walking up to people, handing out business cards, and just constantly talking to them about who I am. And I manifested Donnie Ray, the hair artist, manifested that image because nobody knew me from being a barber for cutting hair. So I had to constantly drill into the people here, even ahead or even around me, that I'm a barber and this is who I am and this is what I do now. So people wouldn't take me lightly. I made sure I interface constantly.
You have to. In the 10X world, I talk about that a lot too. If you're not getting criticized for how much you're out there, or you're not getting blocked, you ain't out there enough.
You're probably doing something wrong.
You're not doing enough.
So it didn't hurt my feelings at all. That kind of was my sign. I'm doing the right thing, because now people is starting to notice that I done jumped out on a leap of faith, and this is what I am and who I am now. So from charging all the way from $10 to $15 when I got started, I was focused on maximizing my clientele to the point where as long as I was at least 90% booked all the time, then I'll go up at least $5 or $10. From 2015 to 10 years later, 2025, I'm able to say that I charge $65 a haircut, and that's my base haircut price. No, I'm not starving after every client right now, but that same hunger that I had coming into the game is the same hunger that I use to push my business forward. Same hunger I use to help grow the barbers and the people around me. I don't like to be about me. So anybody that I bring along in my team, I try to make sure they carry and have some of the same principles and values that I have. As long as they're hungry and ready to work, I make sure I get them to the same level that where I'm at, because I was preaching to them like, yeah, I'm doing X, Y, and Z, but that wasn't because I'm special. It's because I put the work in, and and I make sure they know that's all you got to do too. And if I got a blueprint, I'm gonna show you the way.
I love it. So you're at 65 right now. What do you think? What do you say the average is in town? What would the average haircut be?
Average hair price for haircuts in town right now is probably about right around, I would say, $30.
So you're twice that. How do you build that kind of prestige, that luxury, that premier cut guy to where they're coming for you for that?
My clients know I'm not half-assing them. They know I'm constantly in class myself. I've been a barber 10 years, but I've been a barber 10 years. I teach barbering, but I'm just as much as a student as the students that I'm teaching.
Mhm.
I'm constantly looking for new ways to grow, new ways to execute a haircut in a timely manner, or whatever new technique or new trend is coming out. A lot of the times I see and start practicing on those things before it ever sits down in my chair. I am the barber that's not scared to go out his way to be different. If it's me adding an extra wax machine, or me adding an extra massage machine so I can use the massager while I'm doing a facial or a hot shave on you, I'm gonna go out my way and I'm gonna do that. I hold no shortcuts with my clients, and that part is where I feel like they really appreciate me. But at the same time, they know that when it comes to being on top of your skills and coming with the professionalism, because that's what I pride myself more so than anything in the shop. Like, we run a professional business. We don't treat barbering like a hustle. A lot of people say, especially when I was coming into the barber game, it was like, I remember telling some of my mentors at the time that I was getting ready to sign up for barber school, and they were like, why don't you do construction, or why don't you do this? I'm like, because I want to try barbering. I've never been really good with my hands and using tools. So why would I do that? Yeah, people was looking at barber as being frowned upon, as not like a real profession and just treating it like a hustle. I said, when my thoughts was, I'm going to approach it completely different from anybody you ever seen approach it. And I made sure, like, when I go to the shop, usually I'm in business casual clothes. I do believe you attract the energy you put out, even down to personal image. I try to make sure I got my stuff together, so the people who I'm trying to attract to come to me when they walk in, yeah, that's the man right there, and I'm gonna make sure I take care of him. I think it would be a real hard sell for me to be charging $65 a haircut, and they walk in and I'm in a wife beater and basketball shorts.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a tough sell.
Yeah. No, hey, people pay for greatness, man.
Yeah.
And you're exuding that.
Yeah.
Greatness, that professionalism. So I love it. Tell us a little bit more about more of the services you offer at the lounge there at the Grooming Lounge, and a little bit more about what you guys do there.
So as far as service-wise, haircuts, hot shaves is almost a lost art. Hot shaves, braiding. We got stylists in there that braids, that twists hair. We also have stylists that highlight, does eyebrows, women haircuts. I still do women haircuts too. I try to be a little bit of a jack of all trades when it comes to anything hair involved. I like to try to get my hands on it. Design, graphic designs. We pretty much do it all.
Love it. So, talked a lot about the business side so far. Let's transition over to the personal side. So what are some things you do to elevate your life personally?
Things that, again, I told you, as far as barbering, like to stay in class and stuff like that. But on the personal side, I read a lot. They always say you want to hide something from somebody, put it in a book. So I try my best to stay on top of reading as much as I can.
What kind of stuff you like to read?
So Atomic Habits is a book I just recently got done reading. That's probably honestly one of the best books I've read, as far as being immediately reading it and then being able to immediately go take certain things from the book and put it into action. Think and Grow Rich. That's another one.
I actually got that one. It's sitting right behind me. Right.
Oh, yeah.
There.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Oh, yeah. Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah, that's another good one.
Uh-huh.
So usually if I'm reading, it's for me to actually gain some type of knowledge that I don't have or didn't have before. I really don't read too many fictional novels. If I'm reading something, it's going to be something that with good information, and it's something that's going to push me to grow, or at least have me thinking about a few things.
I love it. If you haven't read it yet, this one right here, the 10X Rule, I'll get you a copy of that and you can read that one too. That's a good one. I know you're into powerlifting too, man.
Oh, yeah.
What do you do there?
I don't know how I didn't think to speak on that. So
I see you on social with your powerlifting.
Now that is one personally that I do. I really got into powerlifting over the last 3 years, I want to say. I have competed and won a couple medals in my weight division. I'm actually getting ready for another powerlifting tournament June 28th in Peoria. But powerlifting in general, man, that's been a real passion of mine. It's been able to help keep me disciplined, mentally sharp. I start my day with it. You wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm hitting the gym by 4:30. So it's just so I can get that workout in. Again, working out for me, it gives me so much peace and so much discipline. It helps. It literally fills out the structure of the rest of my day. I start with it, and then from there, you get that good attaboy by waking up in the morning, getting the one thing done. Then from there, it's almost like I'm running off of adrenaline rush. It's like, okay, let's see what else we can tackle and get done today. Yeah, once I wake up and get that workout in the morning, I'm ready. I'm ready and game plan for whatever else come my way.
No, I'm the exact same way. We talked before. I'm an early morning weightlifter guy, so it structures it kickstarts your whole day.
Yep, it sucks waking up that early, but once I'm in the gym, I'm like, all right, yeah, it was worth it. We did. Let's go.
So what's your goals around the powerlifting? You got some goals for how many competitions you want to enter or how many you want to win or like that?
Not really necessary for how many I want to win. I always say, especially in the gym and in life in general, it's really you versus you. So I don't really get into saying that I have to win X amount, because anytime I go and compete, as long as I know that I've displayed my best effort, that's really all I care about, making sure I leave all of what I got to bring to the table on the floor. I have been blessed and have won a few times though. But as far as number goes, I do got some numbers that I've been chasing that I really want to hit. Right now weighing 155 right now. Goal wise, my goal is to be able to hit 5 plates. That's 495 on deadlift.
Yeah, nice.
I'm chasing it. I got to the heaviest I've gone so far is 470. I got 470 for a set of one. So 495 is right around the corner.
Yeah, it is. At 155. That's good.
And then on bench, I'm chasing 315. The heaviest I've gone so far is 285. But once I get 315 knocked out the way, I don't know if 405 will ever be in the cards for me.
You'll get there, man.
Yeah, 315. Once I get 315, I may throw my hat in the air and run out the gym.
There you go. Hit those. Get up there, that 405. You can get there. I think you can get there.
Yeah.
So where you work out at?
Work out at Pure Performance downtown. That's my friend, a good friend of mine, his gym. I train directly with him, Jeremy Ferry. Man, great guy. Can't say enough about him and his location. Everything he brings to the table as far as making sure, when I say somebody who truly invests his time to make sure he has all the knowledge to help you out with, whether it's programming, whether it's I feel like I gotta my shoulder hurts a little bit over here this when I do something and go up in the air this way. Like as soon as you tell him a problem, he has an answer and a solution for it. I've been working out with him for about 4 years now. Towards the last 3 years is more so when we transition to actual powerlifting. But he's helped keeps me in gear and keep me in track. Man, he don't mess around. When I say a workhorse, he's a workhorse. No days off, no excuses. You signed that contract with yourself, so we're committed, and he ain't taking no for an answer.
I love it. Is that one of his specialties, like the powerlifting and everything?
Yeah.
Awesome. Are you involved in any other like associations or any other community stuff going on?
I just not really necessarily really attached to an association. I did mention the outlet. I'm starting to actually mentoring with them over the summertime. I've been helping them out a little bit here and there, but not actual as a on site, on hands guy to be there on a daily basis. So once we got out of school from CACC this summer over summer break, I'm using some of my downtime to actually go over there and help out with the youth over there. Okay. We've had so much different stuff in our community go on within the last year or two. And I myself was steady trying to figure out different ways how I can be involved and maybe be able to talk to a couple kids. And Mike Falon called me out the blue one day and was like, hey, I'm about to start this new program over out at the outlet, and I think you would be perfect for it. So I went and talked to him. We got the blueprint laid out for it. So over the summertime, I'm gonna be going over there at least probably 15 hours a week, just going over there and dealing with the inner city youth. And like they're working on so much stuff over there that I know half of it I really can't talk about at the time. He's setting up so where he can deal with kids that's coming in and out of juvie, kids that don't necessarily even have a home to go to, that's living in shelters and stuff. So I thought that when he brung it to me, I'm like, man, how and where am I gonna fit this in my schedule? But once he kept talking to me about it, I'm like, I don't care how I gotta fit it in my schedule. I need to make time to prioritize being able to be available for these kids who really truly needs the help. I have 3 boys myself, and I couldn't imagine, like, I'm usually around them so much, and then like I come to the school and I'm around some of the other high school kids around the same age as my oldest son. I'm like, man, my son life is completely different than y'all. And there's a reason why, because I'm there and I'm able to play that role and help facilitate certain things in his life. And it's a lot of kids who don't necessarily have that. And I know what it was like myself growing up like that. So I'm like, I don't care what I have to do. I'm going to drop whatever I got to drop so I can make sure I can be available for these kids. When the times come, I'm going to be there when they need me.
I love that. That's powerful, man. So what would you tell kids out there about your success? Something that they could take away saying, hey, I could be like Donnie Ray. What's something you could tell them to kind of keep them pushing?
I will let them know that hard work don't go unnoticed. You may think it does, but it's always somebody watching. And in every situation, always put your best foot forward, because you should treat every situation like it's a job interview. Regardless whether it's just you playing basketball at a park in front of some people, or whether it's you actually going to school, grade, and you didn't know you just jacking off in class because you don't know if this really what you're gonna do. Some of those peers that you're in class with, or maybe even the teacher, may have a job opportunity for you. Some could come of that one day while you're not even paying attention.
So what's next? What's on tap for the Global Grooming Lounge? What's the plans for the future for that?
Right now, I'm only housing, my location is only housing 5 of us total right now, with me teaching barbering at the high school level the way I am, and knowing that these kids, because what's next is basically always the question that they have while they're going through the program, what's next for them. So for me, I would like to be able to get myself into a position where we're going to do it because I'm going to manifest it and make it happen. Get the shop into a bigger location. Where now I can house and show at least 10 other barbers the way, and then train them up, barbers and stylists, train them up, show them everything that I know, and then maybe put them in positions so now they can go open up their own shop and do the same for other people. The fruit of my labor and what I do as far as being a barber teacher is that I have a platform where I can share the gems that I've learned on the way. Give my experience back to others. That's why I always try to make sure, regardless, it's one thing to be behind a chair cutting hair and doing barbering, completely different to be in front of students, teaching them how to literally make money with their hands. No matter where they go, they can hit rock bottom, but you got the skill of barbering where you can look back on, and now you could turn some things around for you. I was on vacation in ER. I didn't take any clippers with me. I knew I should have took some clippers with me. But I'm talking to this guy. He's from Poland. And I tell you, I always try to mention that I'm a barber no matter who I talk to. So I slid that in there. And right there on the spot at the beach, he was, oh, you got clippers? Let's do a haircut right now. And I'm like, man, I ain't bringing none. My girl wouldn't let me. And so now I'm like, I should have brought some clippers. But that's just an example of how no matter where you at with barbering, you can feed yourself off your hands. If I was stranded in the DR, I would have made sure I found me a way back as long as I had me a pair of clippers.
Absolutely. Love it. So we've had a lot of great takeaways so far. Give me one more from your personal side and one more from your professional side. So one more thing on the personal side to help people elevate their life. One more thing from your professional side to help people elevate their business. A couple of your favorites here.
Personal side. So one thing from the personal side, find balance. Balance is really important. Find balance and make time for the thing that you know you need to prioritize. Everything that we do isn't necessarily important, but there's a few things when it comes to your personal life with your family, your personal life with God, your personal life when it comes to just you having time for you. You got to create that balance, or else you'll get lost in the whirlwind of things that life is thrown at you. Going to the gym is one of the things that it helps keeps me balanced. When it comes to elevating yourself in your business life, man, keep a circle of people who know more than you. That's been one of the best things that I've been able to start doing for myself. Try to surround myself. I don't want to be the smartest person in my circle. I try to make sure I'm surrounding myself with people who is a bank of wealth, I should say. I try, if it's an area where I'm weak at, I'm not really great when it comes to videography, photography type work, or even necessarily, I'm not really the best at social media marketing, but I come and pick people's brains that I get introduced around me. You can't be scared to ask those questions and think it's going to make you look dumb. I walked in your office like, hey, I seen you was doing this, man. How do you do it? It was something so simple, but for me, I couldn't figure it out. So you got to be able to lean on your peers and the people around you, develop a circle of friends and business leaders to be able to be amongst yourself and talk and network with, because those people are going to have your back when nobody else is. It's I see you fail, I'm going to pull you up with. So I try to make sure I surround myself with business savvy people who are very well educated in areas that I'm not necessarily the best at.
I love that. And that's key. I mean, that's it said that if you're the smartest person in the room, if you're the wealthiest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
You're in the wrong
wrong room.
Wrong room.
So tell us if somebody wants to come out and get a cut, somebody wants to come out and get a hot shave, whatever, where do they go to get more information and to book a service?
If you want to come out to Global Grooming Lounge, we're located West White Oaks Drive, 2815, directly behind Kohl's and TJ Maxx. You can book appointments online. That's how we really prefer to take clients by them to booking appointments. You can book that online at globalgroominglounge.com. And as soon as you get on there, a little book now button will pop up, and then it'll send you straight over to our booking link, where is every barber and every stylist is on that's in the shop working is already integrated on that platform. Their full schedule, full of availability, and we all have our own service menu. So you'll be able to see everybody's unique service menu and the thing that they have to offer and bring to the table from there. And once you get on there, get on that website, you're gonna see from the time you hit the website. We try to make sure we do things the right way. The website is laid out really nice, really clean, really professional. And when you walk into the shop, you're going to get the same thing. You're going to see a really clean, really professional appearance as soon as you walk in the shop. Again, my shop is always welcoming for everybody. It's a family vibe. My kids is in there running around. So you may, my little 4-year-old may be in there. You may sit down on the couch and he may want to come right up to you with his iPad and play the video game with you or something. But we keep it running that way, and everything running that way for a reason. Everything's been going smooth. A little over 4 years now, almost 5. And I haven't got a bad review on Google yet.
I love it.
Yeah. Where somebody was disappointed because because they thought they might have came into an unprofessional environment. We do things, try to just make sure we do things the right way and treat people the right way. And everything else usually falls in line for us.
Love it. Everybody out there, go check out Donnie Ray and his entire team at the Global Grooming Lounge. And my man, Don Criss, doing great things in the community, man.
We try.
Appreciate you spending some time with me this afternoon.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to let Don get back to elevating Springfield. And for the rest of y'all, we'll be right back. Hey everybody, if you like what you've heard so far, hey, join us over on Facebook. We have a group and a page over there. You can also join our free community where we will bring you additional insights and strategies to help you elevate your life, your business, and ultimately our community. You can find that link in the show notes. We would love to have you join us. Let's get back to it. All right, how about Donnie Ray? He was great, wasn't he? A lot of great stuff today. Hey, let's take a little bit about what we talked about and look at it through a 10X lens. A lot of what he discussed and a lot of his takeaways that he had fit right in with what we do at 10X. So let's start with the social media part first. He talked about when he was first starting out, how he was posting so much that even his family was blocking him, basically saying, hey, I don't need to see any more of your haircuts, man. So, at 10X, I've talked about this before. You want to do so much that you are getting criticized for it. If you're not getting criticized, if you're not getting some haters, you're probably not putting enough out there. So he was getting that, and he knew that he was on the right track because he was getting that. You want to have quantity out there. You want to have frequency out there, right? Because as we've talked before, money follows attention, and best known always beats best. If people don't know you, they can't do business with you. So a couple of other tenets when it comes to social media and marketing in general in the 10X world is the two I just mentioned, but then also assume nobody sees it. Assume that nobody is seeing your social media posts because, quite frankly, unless you've built a pretty big audience, not very many people are seeing it. So don't be afraid to just really keep putting it out there. And then attention is the most valuable currency. Because money follows attention, getting attention is super important and very, very valuable. Speed is senior to quality, right? You're going to put so much out there. If you're putting so much out there that you're getting criticized for it, not every piece of content you put out there is going to be stellar, is going to be polished, perfectly. So speed is senior to quality. Just get it out there, get started, and then repeat successful actions. Once you have some of those successful pieces of content out there and they're driving leads for you or driving attention, then repeat those successful actions. Frequency comes before greatness. This is the second part to that. When we start posting on social media, it's probably not going to be that good, right? So you only get great at anything, whether it's creating content or whatever you do in your industry or playing sports or whatever. You only get great when you are frequent at that thing. Because the whole idea here, when you're talking about content or marketing in general, omnipresence is the goal, being everywhere all at once. And social media makes it a lot easier to accomplish that because there's so many different platforms to be able to drive your content through. And with that, when we're talking about all the different avenues, all the different types of social media out there, all the different apps, you want to make sure you are tailoring your messages to those particular apps. People are different when they're on Facebook as compared to when they're on LinkedIn or when they are on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube. They're typically looking for different things, right? So you want to make sure you are tailoring your message based on where you are posting. And we're going to talk more about that in another episode. But what are some of the types of content you can use to become omnipresent? You can create articles, you can do blogs, newsletters, interviews, podcasts, social posts, videos, images, polls, surveys, infographics, memes, testimonials, before and after, right? Could be all of those things and should be all of those things at different times. But again, you want to be consistent and frequent with it and assume nobody sees it and just get it out there. And you want to meet your customer or future customer where they are. There's a whole range of people out there from they have no idea who you are, don't know you. There's some people that know of you. There's some people that are connected to you. Maybe they already follow you on social. There are some people that have, quote unquote, opted in. Maybe they're part of your community. Could be a current customer already, could be a previous customer, or all the way to an advocate where they are really, helping you essentially because they are driving people to you by giving you good feedback and potentially testimonials and things like that. So you have to make sure you're structuring your message accordingly so you can call out to the exact people that you're talking to, speak to a problem, initiate the problem, insert your value, add your unique selling proposition, and then add a call to action. We're going to talk more about these in a specific marketing segment that we're going to do. But a quick method you could use, a quick, easy start for content if you're just getting going and you're trying to sell something, right? You can use the GAP method. Quite simple, GAP method. Start with the G, get attention. Then the A, ask about a problem you know they have. And then P, promise to solve with an offer, right? You could also do numbered lists. You could do how-tos. Those are quick and easy ways to get content out there, especially if you're having trouble figuring out what exactly you can do to push additional content. The idea, again, is to become omnipresent and become the trusted resource in whatever industry you're in. All right. Donnie also talked about professional development, how he's always learning in his craft, right? Always taking classes, figuring out what's new and what's up and coming in the barbering world. This is right in line with 10X. We have tons of different professional development opportunities, no matter what industry you are in, from sales, marketing, money and mindset, and everything in between. We have a full Cardone University suite that I personally train in every single day, and thousands upon thousands around the world train in it as well. So we believe that you need to train every single day in order to hone your craft, in order to grow, in order to get better. So no matter what you are doing out there, you need to be able to find a way to develop yourself, and that is through daily training. Then on top of that, you can go to conferences, get out of your town for a bit, meet with people that are out there striving, and you can find those people at these different conferences or at these different workshops. I'd be happy to recommend a few. Give me a shout. Next thing that we talked about with Donnie, hey, we talked a little bit about how he essentially charges double what the average cost of a haircut is, right? So how do you become the prestige brand? With 10X, we believe that you know your worth and you charge for your worth. People want to work with people that have a high value and a high value of themselves. Sometimes having a cheap cost makes people think that you are not very good, right? Gives you a cheap reputation. There is no value in being a low-cost leader unless you are the absolute low cost, but there is an awful lot of value in being maybe the most expensive, right? That prestige brand, and you have to do a good job of branding yourself and marketing yourself to be able to get to that point. Donnie also talked about how a lot of people treat barbering as a hustle, and he treats it as a profession. Right? We talk about being a professional a lot in the 10X world, because to be a professional, you really have to be obsessed with learning every piece of your craft. And again, training to be that professional. That's talking about adding extra value, being unique in all of your actions, and going above and beyond for your clients or customers. When you are a true professional in any industry, it shows. And eventually you're able to use that knowledge, that experience, and that professionalism to be able to start predicting what will happen, be able to kind of see around those corners, so to speak, and be able to help your clients to a higher degree and to a higher level, essentially. So, and that's what Donnie's doing at the Global Grooming Lounge by being a professional barber and not going down the road of using barbering as a hustle. Last thing I want to discuss, one thing that was really important to him was having that group of successful people around you to keep you pushing. All right. I've talked about this a number of different times. You have to be able to trim the negative people out of your life. You got to be able to trim the people that are not good for you out of your life. You got to be able to surround yourself with people that are striving as well. We've talked about mastermind groups before. Highly recommend getting into a mastermind group that meets once per week. This is a group that is all striving for something better, right? Don't have to be in the same industry, but it's a way for you to kind of measure yourself up against other people that are striving, but really it gives you an accountability group to be able to say, hey, you can't hide from this, right? You slacked off this week. You didn't get everything accomplished like you should have, but you're also going to learn a lot from these people. So there's a mix of accountability, learning, and then also just the added motivation of being around other people that are really trying to grow, because it's going to push you as well. We've talked before that we are all essentially the average of the 5 people we are closest with, that we spend the most time with. So we need to make those 5 people successful. We want to make those 5 people and beyond the people that will help you grow and not pull you away. So look at the people that are around you right now. Are they pushing you towards your goals? Are they helping you along your path? Or are they pulling you away from your goals? Are they detracting from where you want to be? If they're detracting from where you want to be, if they're pulling away, that's that group that you may need to trim. So again, surround yourself with the winners, the hitters, the strivers. You will feed off their success. You will feed off their positivity, and it will drive you to even greater success. So a lot of great things with Don Criss today, fit right into our 10X strategies. Hey, if you want more information on 10X mindset and strategies, give me a shout. We would love to have a conversation with you. Again, we have coaching that we can put you through. We have training sessions. We have full workshops. We have online training and a number of other options to help you 10X your life, 10X your business, and reach those big, massive goals that you should be having for yourself. We'll be right back with more after the break. Hey everybody, if you like what you've heard so far, hey, join us over on Facebook. We have a group and a page over there. You can also join our free community where we will bring you additional insights and strategies to help you elevate your life, your business, and ultimately our community. You can find that link in the show notes. We would love to have you join us. Let's get back to it. Well, thank you for joining us today, everybody. Another great Elevate Springfield episode in the books. Thanks again to Don Criss for joining us. A lot of great takeaways. He was phenomenal, wasn't he? Hey, go visit Don over at the Global Grooming Lounge. That's globalgroominglounge.com. Make an appointment. Go see his team. Support these folks in Springfield. Hey, we're going to be back at it next week. But in the meantime, take these actionable strategies. You bring the follow through and discipline, and together we're going to elevate Springfield. We'll see you next time. Be great.